All right, and welcome to the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. My name is Chris, the independent filmmaker,
I'm Jessica, the not independent filmmaker.
and welcome to our bonus segment. This is where we're going to talk about a film that is in the Oscars coming up on March 2nd. So this is very important because it's a horror movie, so stay tuned. All right, and welcome back to the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. And like I said, this at the top of the show, this is our bonus section. And what I wanted to talk about tonight is something that I love to watch every year
Oh yes,
around this time.
Yes, we do a whole little celebration at the house.
Yes.
Whole cheese board comes out,
Charcuterie board, charcuterie board,
and some wine.
and some wine. So that is the Oscars. I know not everybody watches the Oscars. Everybody thinks
Forced.
Sometimes they're, I don't know, snobby or snobby at times. But
I watch just for the fashion.
yes, if you watched any of their videos, you know that. So yes, and this one I really wanted to talk about because this is such hot topic. It's a big topic that's going on this year. Well, it has to do with horror, and
Lots and lots of horror.
yeah, and it's really just one horror movie that has broken through that ceiling into literally into the Oscars, and that is The Substance. The Substance has been nominated for 5 Oscars this year.
Holy cow!
Yes,
I didn't realize
including
so much.
5 Oscars, including Best Picture. The reason I want to say that is okay. Let me talk about the 5 awards it's been nominated for. So it's been nominated, like I said, Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, which is very exciting because I can't wait to read it, and Best Makeup and Hairstyle. Oh, and Best Actress for
Demi Moore. I was like, wait, we're missing one.
Yeah. No. For Demi Moore has been nominated for Best Actress.
Because this will be the 3rd she gets.
No, it's her only one she gets.
No, but I mean, she won an Emmy. She won the Golden Globe.
And
Wait, no,
she won SAG. She won the
Emmy.
Golden Globe and she won SAG.
Wow,
SAG
I really know my award show. Sorry, y'all.
I know awards. So the significance of this is there's only been six horror films throughout the whole history of the Academy Awards that have been nominated for Best Picture. Those films are The Exorcist. That was the first one. Jaws. Both back in the 70s.
I love Jaws.
Yeah, me too. The Silence of the Lambs. And that was the only one to win Best Picture. The only one. Black Swan, which I didn't see. I have not seen that.
I saw it. I didn't care for it.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't a fan.
Okay.
I was kind of lost.
And then Get Out.
Right.
Oh, The Sixth Sense. Oh, I'm sorry. Back up. Silence of the Lambs, The Sixth Sense, Black Swan.
Yeah.
And then
Get Out.
Most recently, Get Out, which I really liked. Get Out. It was really, Jordan Peele has really come on strong as a horror writer, filmmaker. What I want to talk about a little bit, and then we'll talk about The Substance for a few minutes as well, is, this topic of horror films getting snubbed at the Oscars. And I think the main reason is horror movies have come across as, the slasher, B grade movie, silly kind of. I think they have that reputation that these Academy views them as just, these goofy.
Yeah, they don't get taken seriously.
And I know they don't get taken seriously. No, not at all. And I think horror films these days have just become so mainstream and so much more elevated than back in those 70s, 80s slasher movies. That's when it started. I mean, you have to think, okay, they started there, but they've progressed.
Oh my gosh, they've evolved so much.
You look at, Blumhouse, which, they're not, it's not elevated crazy horror, but Blumhouse, I contribute putting horror films on the map because they do so many horror films and they put them out
they come out constantly.
They pump out so many horror films. It's in everybody's face. And I think it gives a filmmaker, like all those indie filmmakers we talked about in our past episode, that fuel to be like, okay, horror films are, they're a significant kind of genre to make. And
you get so many
okay.
big names in these horror films too, and they're such incredible actors and actresses, and it's kind of sad to see that they don't get the recognition in that genre of work that they do.
Maybe, like obviously like Get Out got nominated and The Substance got nominated. And I think the Oscars or the Academy looks at, a strong social message. And, Substance was a strong social message.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Get Out was a strong social message. So maybe if you're getting that message out, maybe they'll start recognizing horror films more. But I really feel like, they've been snubbed for so long, and I feel like they need to be they recognize it's a true genre. I feel like everybody has a fear. That's why I like making horror movies, because, everybody has or is afraid of something. So I feel like, snakes or the dark or whatever, there's a lot of fears out there that you can make horror films on, and it brings it more to light. And I think these horror filmmakers should be taken a little more seriously and looked at a little bit more with the Oscars. The main topic, which is The Substance, which, like I said at the top, was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and then Best Actress, Demi Moore. It's supposed to take place in LA. It's shot in France. It's shot, and it's written, directed by a French director, Coralie Fargo. Forget? I forgot.
Yeah, sorry.
I forgot. I know she's watching, so I'm sorry. She's so watching. So this film takes place, it's supposed to be in LA. It takes place with Demi Moore, who plays Elizabeth Sparkle. She's a fading celebrity. She's been dismissed by her producer due to her age. He wants younger, prettier looking person. So she goes on and finds this black market drug that can split her into 2 people. So she's literally younger person and older person. The only caveat is you can be that person for 7 days. And then after that 7 days,
you got to switch.
You got to switch back, and you can't disrupt the balance. So, not only does it work with the, aging person, especially females in Hollywood, it works with that. Don't disrupt the balance of nature as well. Or you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. And she regrets it for sure.
Lord.
But I think that I love the theme of this movie because we all, at least,
it resonates with everybody.
I think it resonates with everybody, whether you're male or female. We don't want to age. We always want to stay young
and youthful.
And, I think there's definitely ageism out there. It doesn't matter what job you're in, whether you're in Hollywood or in another job. Somebody's going to look at you like, oh, you're younger and you're older. I want the younger person. So I think those themes are relevant across, all male or female and all across all jobs, and don't disrupt the balance. And it has a really great theme. This is a body horror film for sure. 100%. It really goes off the edge.
It goes to the extreme.
Goes to the extreme on the body horror. I've seen worse, but this one does really, she really goes and leans into the body horror, which still, it's not crazy horror.
It's just a little strange.
So
it lost me.
It did lose you, but
I get it, but it lost me.
It does lose me a little bit too, but I think I have to think, all right, well, that's what the director in her mind thinks visions it. And I'm like, it's not my vision, but it's her vision. And the overall, I liked most of it. And again, it's one of those films that kind of loses me in the third act a little bit. Some of it resonates with, the person at the end just trying to beauty herself up and be that pretty person, but she's not able to do it. And it just goes off the rails into the third act and done.
It just becomes this creature.
Yeah. But 100%, please see it. Demi Moore's performance is amazing. It's one of her best performances ever. Margaret Qualley, who plays her opposite, really great in her job as well. She
Mhm.
plays a great, crazy young person. Dennis Quaid plays a great
Gosh.
jerk of a producer, agent kind of guy, just that typical Hollywood person that you would always think.
Just wants younger, tighter, and better,
Yeah,
and he
that
doesn't
kind of thing.
care who he says it to.
No, it's definitely well worth the watch. And make sure you go out and check that out. Yeah. Yeah, just be open minded. Well, I mean, all these movies, I feel like you should be a little open minded because
Yeah.
they're not your typical movie.
Well, I definitely feel like for this one, it resonates with a lot of people. So I think you
Yeah.
got to go into this one, especially open minded. It's more for the end of it because, like you and I said, we didn't envision how the ending should have gone. But again, it's not our story to tell.
Right.
So,
Right. I have one writing tip.
Oh, okay.
All right. My writing tip. You listening?
Well, I'm staring at you, aren't I?
Well, I guess you're listening then. When you're writing, and you're writing, like, let's say you're writing two characters, and you're writing this character, and you're writing this character, and I feel like I do this too. I tend to write from one character side. I'm writing towards this character, and I'm like, okay, this is the vision of this character. But then I also have to listen to this character on the other side, and I have to almost pretend that I haven't heard anything this character heard, and then receive this. You have to listen to each side. That's basically it's when it's almost like when you're acting. You take it back to an actor's perspective. When an actor is acting, they have to listen to what the character's saying to you.
It's like actively listening.
You have to actively listen because you can tell when an actor is not listening and they're just like, okay, I'm just waiting to say the next line and I know my next line. I'm just waiting for them to finish their line.
But it's just dead.
And then, yeah, so you're not getting that great exchange back and forth. They're not actively listening. And I listened to this podcast and I was like, this really resonated with me a lot because I was like, I tend to write from one character. I'm writing this character and I'm not being the other characters and listening to what this character's saying to the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I write this character in this voice, and then I have to turn around and let's say I move over to here, and I'm like, okay, now I have to listen to what this character's saying to me and pretend that I don't know what they're saying to me because I'm not supposed to know what they're saying, react to that, and then write back that dialogue to that other character. So it's like you have to think of it as an actor listening to lines, pretending that I don't know the lines, and then reacting to those lines. So you have to be almost like an actor when you're writing this dialogue. And dialogue is such a hard thing to write for writers to write because it just becomes very on the nose at times, very wooden, just very one-sided. It becomes very what the writer wants to say and not what the characters are supposed to say. And then let's say you get a group of characters, you're writing a scene with like 5 characters, you have to go, okay, this character's saying this, so I'm telling it from their voice, and then I have to go around to each character and pretend that I'm them, and then listen to what the character's saying to me, and then what's that response back. So just make sure when you're writing that you're being all those characters, because I do that a lot. I will act out stuff, but I sometimes I do it just from one side, and I'm like, I got to do it from all character sides because they all have their own thoughts and opinions and reactions to what the character's saying to you.
It's so interesting you're actually saying that to me, or like saying that because I'm writing that thing.
Yeah, I know
but
you're
it's
writing.
like I feel like I'm writing in that style the way you're saying it.
Oh, that's good.
And the weirdest way, it's so crazy that you are saying that because I feel like that's how I'm writing. Okay, he's saying this. This is how she's going to react. And then her reaction has got to feed his like it's that back and forth. And it's so crazy that you say it too. Cause I've, being on a couple of film sets, I'm like, you've got to be able to give something back. If it's not in words, it's got to be in a facial expression, a body gesture. And
right. But you also make sure you're not seeing it from that character. You have to go over to this side of the character and go
like you're looking into it.
And I'm like listening to it, the dialogue, and go, when I'm reading this line, I am this character now. How is this character how am I going to react to this? Am I upset about it? Am I happy about it? I'm like, do I agree? Do I disagree?
Do I want to be angry? Do I not want to be angry with this? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like I said, I think it's been a trap that I've fallen into and written from one side. I'm writing this character, and then I'm going to move on and write this character. And I'm like, well, no, they're in the same scene together. They have to.
They have to be able to.
They have to be able to
respond.
react off each other,
Yeah.
and you have to be every character. And when I was listening to this podcast, he was like, you almost have to be like schizophrenic, which is the wrong word for it, but you have to be all these people at one time.
That would be multi-personality disorder.
Yeah. But I'm just saying he used that word, and he's like, I'm using this word wrong, but
Yeah.
you have to
be multiple people in the scene in order to make the scene work and flow.
As far as dialogue goes, if you want to be good at dialogue, because not everybody's great at dialogue. There are writers.
We're terrible at it.
Yeah, we're terrible at it. I mean, no, I'm just saying there are writers out there that you'll write a script, you could sell the script, and then they'll hire a writer to punch up the dialogue.
Yeah.
Because there are dialogue writers.
Just flat.
But I want to be at least decent
writer.
at the dialogue, as well as the structure and the plot and all that stuff as well. So just a little tip for you, just if you're a writer out there, make sure that you're, playing every character. It's good to act and play every character anyway. So that is our bonus podcast.
A very long one for you guys.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to get it all out there. We really appreciate you tuning in for our bonus segment.
Yes.
With our Oscar nominated film, The Substance, not ours, but one that we do. No, I wish, because I wish we were on this trail.
In the end.
Yes. So, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on any audio streaming platform. Check out our website, the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. It's got a lot of other stuff on there, especially we have blogs as well and other things going on. So
you can drop us a comment.
And please drop us a comment. Like and subscribe. Please, please, please like and subscribe. More subscribe than like, but just because I like.
Just do both.
Yeah, just do both. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you
soon. Have a good night.